In this video, I'm going to talk about how to accommodate, how to catch different exceptions in one except block, or actually in one line. So let's start with this example. Suppose that we have to find a variable called x, which is a string. And now we want to do something, and that thing is this. We want to try to convert this x variable into a float value, and we want to store that in a variable called value. And now we want to print the value as well. So let's print the value, that's it. But we want to simply accommodate the except part as well. And by doing so, we want to say if any error happened, if we encountered with any error, if we encountered with any exception, so except any exception as E, this is an alias name for whatever exception that we are going to encounter, I want to print that E variable. And now if I run the code, you can see in this case, we don't encounter with any exception. So that's why it is going to run this part of the code. But for example, if I pass another thing, for example, my name, which is Sajjad, and if I run the code, you can see it gives us this exception. It is going to run this part of the code. It is going to catch that exception, and it is going to assign an alias name for that, which is E, and it is going to print that. It is going to print that exception, which is this one. And in my opinion, it's better to print the representation. A printable representation of E, which if I run a code, you can see it gives value error and could not convert a string to float. So it specifies the type of error as well. So if we pass this kind of stuff, for example, if I pass a string containing my name, it is going to give us the value error. But for example, suppose that I define another variable, and in this case I want to define a list 1, 2, and 3. So once again, if I run the code, you can see in this time we will get type error. It says type error, float argument must be a string or a real number, not a list. So as you can see, in this case we get a type error. So here, if we want to accommodate both of these types of errors, both of these types of exceptions, so we can do the following. We can accommodate all of them in the parentheses. So we can say except value error, comma, type error as E, this is the alias name for whatever exception that is going to happen, and we're going to print a representable presentation of this E variable. And now if I run the code, you can see it gives type error because now it is a list. But for example, if I comment to this line and only have this line, and if I run the code, you can see in this time we get a value error. So if you want to accommodate and catch different exceptions in one line, that's very simple. You can use this type of syntax. And here are 2 videos which I suggest you to watch as well. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.